You guys have requested more horse racing videos for Betfair, so that is exactly what I'm bringing you guys today. Now, this strategy is a very simple strategy. It's probably the simplest strategy I've ever used, but it is very particular. It's called the laying the field strategy, and it's as simple as it sounds. You're going to lay the entire field on the horse races. Maybe not the whole field, so it's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but that's what you're going to attempt to do. There's no other way of me explaining this than just getting straight into it. So I'm just going to show you guys this on a standard horse race. The one thing that's key with horse races when it comes to this is the actual selection of the race. Not every horse race, I should say, is going to be applicable for this strategy. In fact, most won't be. So it's key you get the selection right. If you use it for every single game, you're going to lose a lot of money. Or every single horse race. Just excuse me if I say game today. I think I'm used to football trading by now. But the key here is you need to select the right horse race. I'll go into it in a bit more detail in just a second on which horse races I'd recommend, but you guys are going to probably have a better idea of which ones to select. I'm going to quickly show you guys the strategy, how it works, how you can do it. I'll then take you through two examples of when I've used the strategy. We've got some live trades of it. Both of them, again, like quite a lot of my trades, didn't work. And that is going to be a common theme sometimes with this strategy. It's just all about getting that selection right. As soon as you can start finding a common theme and a good selection for this strategy, you're going to start to see some nice consistent profits. But for the time being, the two I've got to show you today, I thought I'd selected decent matches, decent horse races, but it just didn't go to plan in the end. But let me show you exactly what the laying the field is. So laying the field, as you can see, there's a horse race here in front of me. You're just going to select lay all. And the fact here is you're going to try and lay at the same price. You're going to try and get multiple horses at the same price. The prices I'd recommend going for are 1.5, 2.0 and possibly 1.75, just a nice in the middle. To make a profit, it will depend on how many horses you get matched. So for example, let's just get it put in here for 2.0. And what I'm going to do is just go down and copy and paste 2.0 for all these horses. Now, in case you didn't see before, there is just that lay all button to get all of them selected. And it is as simple as that. But if we were to somehow get all these horses matched at 2.0 when we're laying them, with a liability of, let's just say, £2, the lowest liability you can go for, then we would make a guaranteed profit of £23.52 just from £2 liability. Obviously, that's never going to happen, that you'll get all the horses matched. But what I'm going to do here is slowly remove them, and you can see at what point you start making some profit. It varies depending on 2.0 odds, 1.75, 1.5 odds. And I'm going to show you guys that here, just so you can see what point you can make some profit, and then you can note that down. But let's just get these down slowly. So you can see there, we still make a profit, we still make a profit, still make a profit, and it goes down for quite a while. But for odds of 2.0, you're going to need 3 horses to get matched. Regardless of how many horses in the race, you need 3 horses to get matched at that 2.0 to make yourself a profit. Let's just go with a bit more of a standard liability here of, let's say, £10. So if you were going in with £10, you've got 3 horses matched, you're going to make that £10 profit after the 2% commission, as you can see on the left hand side. And then if one of these other horses wins, you're going to make a bit more, but chances are they would have got matched at 2.0 at some point if they end up winning the race. So you are just going to win the £9.80 if you get them 3 horses matched. If you manage to get horses matched at 1.5, that is where it gets a little bit nicer. Because at 1.5, you only need the 2 horses to get matched. Get the 2 horses matched at 9.5, or at 1.5 I should say, with the £10 liability. I must have clicked pay out there before, but you can see there with £10 of liability at that 1.5 odds, you're going to get the £10 back if you get 2 horses matched. So it's very simple. If you can find a really competitive horse race where at 2 points in the race, 2 different horses can be the favourite, you're going to make 100% of your liability back if you get 2 horses matched. It's that simple. Obviously 1.75, it then changes again, and so on for however many odds you decide to use. So for example, at 1.75, you can see we'd make a little bit of profit there with 2. Not as much profit, of course, but you would still make some profit. And then obviously for every horse after that, you're going to get some more profit. So maybe 1.75 is a nice little middle ground between that 1.5 and that 2.0. Now the reason this can be a good trade is because horse races, the odds change so drastically whilst the horse race is ongoing. So I did want to try and show you one live, but the next one's not for another 8 minutes, unfortunately. But the odds change so quickly and so drastically that at different points throughout the race, anyone can be the favourite. So for example, if we look at this one, maybe the half 2 at Yarmouth, hopefully it wasn't just a clear favourite the whole way. You can see it kind of was, to be honest. So that's probably not a good example. He was just a clear favourite. But you can get so many different odds and different selections during horse races that this can be an incredible strategy if you get the selection right. And that's the key aspect here. Before I show you some of the live trades, what are the advantages of this? Well, for a starter, it doesn't take too much to set up. If we wanted to do it for this Newcastle game, why did I have to choose the one where it's also a football team name? But if you wanted to do it for this Newcastle horse race, I wouldn't, just because it's quite a small race, as in it's not that long, so you don't have much time in the race to be able to get some good variety in the odds. But there is a fairly competitive field, but I definitely wouldn't do it for this one. But if you wanted to, you just go lay all, and you put in the odds, put in your liability, press place bets, and then, like I'll show you in a video in just a second, you're going to want to select keep, just so that the odds all keep that selection throughout the race. And to be honest, what you can do on the morning is go through all the race selections like I have done here. You're just going to go over to horse racing, yes, leave the page, horse racing, today's card, and you can just go through the races one by one and decide which ones you think look good, which you think will apply for this strategy and work. You can go through them, and instantly you can do the lay all. You can do the lay all, and in fact this one here doesn't look too bad. It's a 3-mile race, it's fairly competitive. I'm going to get this one put on. I haven't done enough research here at all, so I'm only going to go in with a liability of 2.0, but just to show you how you can do it before it even starts. So I want to do this at the 1.75 odds, so we'll just get some 1.75s done. And we'll do it at liability of 2. You can see there, and then you're just going to press place bets, confirm, and then keep, update, and there you go. You'd never have to touch this again now. You can just go off to work and do whatever you had planned for the day. That's how simple this is to place. We'll come back for this one in 5 minutes when it's about to start, but another advantage of this is your losses are capped. You can only lose in this race, for example, and any other race you do, you can only lose your liability. I know that sounds stupid, it's always the case, but you can only lose one of your liability. If 2 horses get matched, you're in profit. So the most you will lose for this whole horse race will be that £2, because the only time you'll lose money is if you only get 1 horse matched. Obviously that might happen quite a lot of the time if one horse just suddenly goes off and is the clear favourite and then wins, but sometimes, especially with long races like this 3-mile one here, you can get a favourite who runs off, maybe falls, maybe just pulls back, maybe another horse catches up. There can be different points throughout them, and that's what you'll see in the examples I've got later on. You'll sometimes see 2 favourites going at it and getting close to the end, and that's kind of sometimes not what you want, because then it's close between the 2, and they'll normally always just be like it evens until it gets right to the end, where one just goes off as the favourite. But the bonuses for this strategy are very easy to do. You can just do it on a morning, 10 minutes out your day, get a few selected, and then off you go. Come back later on and check how you've got on. Your losses will be capped at your liability, regardless of how many horses there are, and your potential winnings can be quite high. The chances are you're just going to get at most 2, 3 possibly 4 horses, depending on how long the race is, match your odds. So it's not unlimited earning potential, and the scalability of these can be quite iffy as well, because you can see there is quite a lot of money in this horse race here, but there won't be enough in play going really fast to be able to match higher stakes. So it is going to be probably at the most early 3 figures if you really wanted to upscale this strategy. But the key is to really zone in on your match selection or your game selection or your race selection for this. You want a race that is competitive. You don't want a clear favourite. So for example, with this race, you can see there's possibly all the horses could win this race. You can see What's Occurring looks the way to go here, which is strange considering he's not the favourite. But you can see how many different horses here could be the favourite once the race starts. It's a very competitive race. As well as it being competitive, it's a long race, which is spot on. You're going to want 2 miles plus at least for races like this. Having the opportunity for different horses to take the lead, different horses to maybe fall, things like that. You need a long race. You need a long, competitive race. And even if your selection is 100% spot on, there's still always going to be the chance that one horse is just going to run away with it. You're going to get it matched, and you're going to lose that liability. But another key fact for this strategy is you can micromanage it if you want. You can sit here like I'm going to with this one, and one of my trades I've got footage of as well. Although I might not show you the footage of them races because it's basically the same as what this one's going to be, especially if this one loses. It's just me placing the odds, which is very simple to do, watching the race pan out, and then getting no return. But what you can do, especially with a longer race, is you can watch the odds as it happens. And if there is a clear favourite who shoots off instantly, so for example, if Lark Barrow Lad instantly just starts dropping down, he goes down to 2, 1.9, 1.8, we can quickly just cancel all our unmatched bets. If he drops that quickly in a 3-mile race, we might be able to tell how good of an advantage he's got here. You can also 9 times out of 10 watch the live streams. I'll just show you it here. You can see 9 times out of 10 you can just stick the live stream on and see how it's going and watch and judge for yourself, which is always a bonus of the horse racing as well. But the key is to just get your selection right. I don't know how many more times I can say this. Get your selection right, place your odds, and leave it. The most you're going to lose is your liability, so don't ever put something in your liability that you're not comfortable with. As long as 2 or more get matched, I should say, you're going to be in your profit. If you go with 1.5 or 1.75 odds, if you go with 2 odds, you're going to get them matched a bit better, a bit easier, but you're then going to need 3 to get matched. So here we go, the race has already started, and you can see how quickly these odds are changing. So we've already got a few suddenly dropping down, we've got a few going up. The odds change so drastically, it is kind of crazy, because you can just see every second it is just constantly updating every single horse. It can be hard to keep track of, but the key is just to see and make sure there isn't just one clear favourite going off with this. It's a 3-mile race, it's a long one. I'm going to watch it all pan out, and I'll come back when there's something of note to say. But as you can see at the moment, we've still got 3, possibly 4 horses there who look like they could be in with it. Looks like What's Occurring, although he was the favourite by the time form view, looks like he's kind of drifted off already. But you can see there's still some others who are in with a chance here of possibly getting matched a bit later on. So I'll come back when some of them do. You can see already here all the odds. Even the one who was the favourite, the Lark Barrow Lad, he, at some point in this, as you can see there, is going over 4, which shows that them 4 horses there are really close together here, and no one's really pulling away. It is just What's Occurring who's dropped off quite massively, to be honest. But I'm still not too sure whether or not we'll get matched here. We'll definitely get one matched, as you always do, but hopefully one pulls away just enough here to get matched quickly, and then another comes back right at the end and gets matched just before the race ends. That's what we're hoping for. So let's hope it does come through. So we have now got our first horse getting matched. You can see there it's coming just at the bottom, but already the odds are, I was going to say the odds are starting to drift, but they're definitely not starting to drift at all. He's definitely becoming a bit more of a clear favourite there, and you can actually see all the other horses have massively fallen off now. So it looks like we might have a clear favourite. If I can, I think I had the live stream up over here, so let's get that up again. I was trying to keep track of the live stream, but you can tell it's been a bit of a tricky race, this one, to watch live. But I think it's coming in to the end stretch here, and you can see it is. So that horse really has just pulled away. So we have just lost our £2 there. You can see, it, for the majority of the race that I could see, he was not at all the favourite for this race. He was very much an outsider from the heart. And if you look at the graph, you can even see that from the race as it went on. But it's going to happen sometimes. I think that one, although you do want a race that is close, I think that one might have been too close, if that's possible. It was just, everyone was together and there was never really a chance for there to be two favourites throughout the race, two clear favourites, which is what you're going to need throughout this at certain points. You can see with some of these, the most they got matched at were 2.06 there with £1, so we wouldn't have even got anything with the £2 odds there either, or the 2.0 odds I should say. So it's not too much of a worry really. This just wasn't the greatest of race selections yet again, unfortunately. But like I said before, the one bonus to this strategy, you're only ever going to lose your liability. If you've got any recommendations down below in the comments of what you can think of when it comes to selection for horse races for this event, then please do let me know. I'm still trying to get to grips with it, but I do think it can be a very nice strategy. Yes, I think you're going to lose quite a bit. Most of the time you're going to lose that 100% of your liability, but I do think there is also going to be some other points where you can get a few horses matched and you're going to make 100% of your stake every time you get an extra horse matched. So there is quite a good potential there, but like I keep stressing here, it's all about the race selection. If you can find the perfect race for it, you're going to be in a good spot. If you keep going for the same sort of races and it still doesn't come in, then clearly the race selection is a bit of a problem there. From what I did when I looked at a bit more research on this strategy, quite a lot of people were saying that it's not very likely anymore as what it used to be a few years ago. It seems to be the case with most horse racing strategies, like Dutch in the field, everything like that. It seems to be a lot trickier these days. But this does seem to be like a very nice, simple beginner strategy. Although hard, in some ways as well, it can be quite a nice strategy to use and to learn horse racing a little bit. So I've done this a few times now. I did this yesterday with a £2 liability and a £5 liability for a race I was more confident with. The £5 one, unfortunately, one horse was definitely at the wrong odds before the race started because they shot off and were the favourite throughout the whole race. So that one was a bit of a pain. But I lost £7 yesterday, add this extra 2 here, we've lost £9 off 3 races. It would take a few more to get back into it, but I think the fact that the risk to reward for this strategy is quite large. If you win one time, you're going to get some nice reward. It's a bit more of a better return than the football trades, but it's also going to be a bit harder to get your win. The strike rate's going to be a bit lower, depending on how good you can get your match selection toned down to. But let me know what you think of the strategy. I'm a bit iffy with it. If I can somehow figure out how to get my match selection a bit better for this one, I'll probably use it a bit more. I'm going to review it a bit more. If I can figure out just a golden rule or something for races to select for this, then I'll make a follow-up video. But for the time being, there's not really much else I can say about this. I think the only key things you can do with this are make sure it's a long race, make sure it's a competitive lineup, and then just hope for the best, which isn't really what you want to hear when it comes to trading, unfortunately. But at least with this, you can see how much profit you can make. So for example, if you get 2 matched at 1.5, you're going to make your stake back, your liability back I should say. So 2 matched, you're guaranteed to make that £5 profit. 3 matched, you're just going to add on again another £5 worth, and that takes us up, in fact more than £5 worth I should say. It's just going to then go up to 14, and then every time you add on, it's just going to go to more and more. So if you can really zone in that race selection and get a good variety of horses to get matched at the prices, you're really going to get some decent profit from this. But let me know down in the comments what you think of the strategy, what you think the perfect race criteria for this will be, and if you've ever used this strategy before, or if you think the strategy is just a load of rubbish. Let me know down below as well. Of course, some of these might end up just being a load of rubbish. I think we just need some more testing done in it. But thank you for watching. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. It will make a load of difference. And if you've got any other strategies you want me to try out, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll get them tried out straight away. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.